Setting up trip data fields on the Drive 52. I'm doing this for the benefit of those that have never used a Drive 52 before, because for a lot of people this is their first Garmin, as it is a current model as I record this in February 2022. Now, what is a trip data field? Well, you click this little menu over here. Now bear in mind, these things can be moved by touching and dragging. So if yours doesn't look like this, you can make it look like this if you want to. Trip data are these things. These are trip data fields. Each one of these can be touched, and then you can change it to any one of these things. The ones that I have, now there's two modes for this. There's tracking mode, which is what this is in now, and then there's driving mode, in which these things change, and I'll get to that in a second. When not in navigating mode, meaning you're not navigating anywhere, it's just on, and you're not navigating to a destination, it's just in this on state. You have these three default fields. Well, actually these ones aren't default. I have this one set to, you don't have to set them up this way, this is just the way I do it. The first one is time of day. This one is moving average. That one right there. And this one is the total stopped time. Yeah, stopped right here. And also, when you are on the customized trip data field, any one of them that you have selected is grayed out. And the reason it's grayed out is because it's already selected over here. These three, when I go through my selections here, you'll notice the ones I have selected, the moving average is grayed out, the stop time is grayed out, time of day is grayed out. Okay, let me go ahead and just mute the volume here first. There we go. So we have this. Now if we navigate to a destination, these fields will change. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I will just do a category and a restaurant, and we'll do coffee and tea, and I'll pick something at least a couple miles away. That one looks okay. Go. Now watch what happens to these. I'm just simulating the route. These have now all changed. Now, when you are navigating to a destination, before you start driving, you can modify these again. Now this one tells me the direction of travel, east, west, north, or south. Well, I'll just say what they are. I have the direction of travel, the cardinal direction. I have the arrival time and the total distance. And the reason I put the cardinal direction up there, I'll just go ahead and stop. Now ordinarily, my cardinal direction here is in this spot, because I can change this field as well, but I can only change it to one of three. So while I'm not navigating while driving, this says the cardinal direction, but when I am going somewhere, let me just do that category thing again. Oop, coffee and tea. And this changes. See, now it's arrival time. I could set it back to direction if I wanted to, but I don't, because I like this one to state the time of arrival. So what I did is I changed this one to the cardinal direction, or direction of travel. Anyway, so that is what that first one is. For this guy, I have the arrival. Now this is the arrival time. This is time to arrival. I know that sounds kind of weird, but no, that's what it is. This is the time remaining until the destination. This is the time of the day that I will arrive, so that's arrive in. And then there's this one, which is the total distance remaining. Now bear in mind, you can get this information from clicking the speedometer. Now you'll notice it shows arrival time, the time of the day, how much time until you reach the destination, the distance. So all this stuff is actually here, but I like having it here because I can do it without having to actually interact with the screen while driving, which is safer. That's why you have these things. Now there's an X down here because I can remove the trip data fields at any time, and I can also bring them back by clicking the triple dot and then trip data, excuse me, and then it returns. So anyway, while going to a destination, that's what these three fields state, and it will remember my selections. If I reach the destination or just stop navigation like this, watch these fields, I'll just stop and go back, and now it's back to the original thing I had in tracking mode. So these are the fields that will show when I'm tracking, and then the other type will show when I'm actually navigating to a destination. It is a little bit confusing. It would have been nice if Garmin had actually changed the color slightly. For example, if these things were like a pale yellow instead of always gray. Like, for example, it could be gray when tracking and turn into a pale yellow when in the day color scheme when navigating. That would have been nice, so it just gives you a quick indicator, but they're always gray. So, okay, we'll just deal with it. So that's pretty much it. That's how to do trip data fields on the Drive 52.